My name is Christian Lee, here for Earworm Digital, and we're here with, would you like to introduce?
Yes, my name's Adam Melchor.
And Adam, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Doing well. Yeah, we're at the tail end of our tour, so feeling a little bit tired, but also feeling happy and sad at the same time, that the tour is coming to an end.
Yeah, because you've been on the road for basically like 2 months, right?
Yeah, we left. I left my house January 26th, and we're gone till March 18th. So it's quite the journey.
It is quite the journey,
Yeah.
dang. But yeah, I mean, you're in San Diego right now. You've been here since yesterday. You've been getting some vitamin D.
Yes, some vitamin D.
I could
Yes,
tell
sir.
you seem pretty happy. That's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool.
No, it's definitely a life change. It's like a factory reset, on the human spirit. So very very stoked about it.
This has been your first headline tour like this massive, right?
Yeah. I think this is our first headline tour where there's been like no restrictions on what you can do, post
Okay.
COVID. So we did a tour in 2021.
Yeah, I was there for that.
Yeah. And so I think there was still a lot of mask stuff and mandates, and there were some venues where we could only have like a certain amount of people. But yeah, this is our first open one. So.
Yeah, the venue size has grown exponentially since.
Yeah. I know. We feel very lucky to do this and for people to come and whatnot. So, it's a long journey and it's a long process, and just very happy, just being very lucky to do it. So.
And you were here last year too because you were opened up for Noah. Was that correct?
Yeah. Not too long ago, and I guess before then I was basically on the road from like the middle of September to the first week of December. So I haven't been home too much, but yeah, we played San Diego last year. I think that was our last show of that tour, and it was so special. So yeah, San Diego holds a very near and dear place in our hearts. So.
And yeah, like you said, you've been on tour, going nationwide, meeting all your fans.
Yeah.
And I've noticed because I dropped in, I think was it your Instagram live yesterday?
Very cool.
Like, wow, like some of your fans, some of them are vicious.
Yeah, but it's they get like, I've given them permission for viciousness online, where it comes to my stuff. I'm like, because I can take a punch. So if they say they can get it all out there and it's fun for them and it's like a good way to meet people, and then when I meet them in real life, they're like, oh, this is like, they joke around and stuff, but most of the time they're just like so sweet. So I'm lucky to have the fans that I do, and it's been really great being able to like meet them and just like play for them, and honestly like seeing like on Twitter or Instagram after the shows, like all of them meeting up and hanging out, like that's so sick to me. That's because that's why I do it. I just want to make like a sense of community and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like they're basically making friends at the show.
Yeah. So I always encourage people, like if there's a lot of people online who will be like, oh, I only have one ticket. Like, does anybody want to come with me? And I was like, you'll definitely meet a friend at the show for sure. So it's usually the case.
That's cool. And then I think some of your fans, they call themselves like Squid, right?
Yeah, the Squid Squad.
Squid Squad. Where did that come from?
I think it was just from an Instagram live very early on in the pandemic. One of those like March 2020 vibes, and somebody just posted a squid in the chat, and then the emoji, and then everybody started doing it. So they just sort of deemed themselves, the Squid Squad. But none of my music has anything really squid related, But now it has sort of taken on this thing, and I don't ask questions. I sort of just roll with the punches, and just go with it. So
yeah. And I've noticed since I think was it in 2020 or 2021 that you did your like every Sunday?
Week? Yeah. Lullaby Hotline. Yeah. It's been it's been a while. Oh, no worries. Yeah, we got to we did it for a full year, and then I did it again for a little while, and then redid it this past year, but we got to I think we're at Lullaby Hotline number 85 now. That's so crazy. It's just a lot of songs and a lot of tracks, but it's just again, it's like the community aspect of it, so it's like if people can sort of gather around something, it's just like it's so much more meaningful than if it's just sort of not that. Yeah.
I don't think that's the first time you've done. I believe maybe in 2016 on your YouTube channel, you did one song a week.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's some deep cut stuff. Yeah, I think I've had some, just trying to not be so precious with music is always how I've like loved to release music, you know, and it's the same thing with the live show. You know, we don't play like with like tracks or anything. Usually every show is different, and like there's some shows where things get messed up, and there's some shows where things don't get messed up, and most of the times the things that get messed up are like the highlights of the show, you know.
Yeah.
So like the last show that we had in Phoenix, I brought out a picture of Frida Kahlo that we found at a rest stop. I actually wound up getting a splinter in my hand that was so large from the picture frame. So I spent so Danny came on stage with a pair of tweezers, and we spent like 2 minutes like getting it out on stage. And like obviously we did not rehearse that, you know. So it's like those sort of moments are like what I love about live shows, and I think incorporating that in recorded things, you know, where it's like, okay, it's just like sort of, you know, whatever you're feeling that week or something, you know, and be able to just put it out there and be vulnerable. So
I've been listening to I think it's your debut album.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to it on, you know, walking over here.
Oh, awesome.
And I think my favorite song is Angel Numbers.
Oh, sick.
But I was listening to Cry, and I thought it was funny in the beginning of the song. You're like, oh, you know, you're kind of flexing. You're like, I got good posture.
Yeah.
Giving tips.
It's funny. I don't really have that great of posture. Just for that song, I needed to get good posture. And I think like I think it's like, you know, the idea of like feigning like, you know, good posture, or like, you know, standing up tall, like even when, you know, you're not feeling as tall as you are, you know what I mean? And it's like there's good parts about it and like not good parts about it. So wanting to say that, where it's like, you know, I'm not always strong, but I've got good posture, where it could just it doesn't have to literally mean like, oh, I have good posture all the time. It's just like, even when I'm not feeling it, like I'm still trying to stand up straight, you know. And as good as that is, you know, there's also some, if you're not going to talk about it, you know, and like be, you know, a vulnerable person in front of everybody, and always be like this one, you know, speed, and you're always going to be, you know, strong or whatever, you know, you can actually wind up hurting yourself even more. So.
And so you've dropped countless EPs, you know, your debut album, and, you know, you've been making music for, I say, like over a decade. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I want to know, though, like, who were some of your inspirations who, you know, keep you on performing, to make music?
Yeah, I mean, like definitely the one of the biggest inspirations growing up was there's this band called Guster that I loved, that they did a lot of harmonies and stuff, and I loved the Beatles, you know, obviously. But then there was like people who I would always like look at and be like, now this is like those were for like music related things, and then for like artistry stuff, it was like I loved Bjork. Like anytime like I would see her do something, I'm like, this is like the coolest thing, and like somehow it just keeps reinventing herself. And but then I think one of the main like recording projects where like I heard Phoebe Bridgers' first EP, this Killer EP, and that really changed like my perspective, and like inspired me to like want to just maybe do things a little more simply, you know. And that still like to this day is one of my favorites, and like one of my biggest inspirations. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've been chatting. You're pretty friendly, and that's what I love to see. And I'm wondering, you know, do you think we could be friends?
Absolutely, I think so. Yes,
yes,
sounds good.
Thank you. And the thing I love to do for my friends is give them gifts.
Wow! Oh my God!
I know you're going up to LA. I'm like, you know, might as well, you know, stop by and give you some. You know.
Wow! Okay. Oh my God! It's such an honor.
And first one we did talk about, it is actually the Beatles.
Wow! Oh my God! Thank you so much. Look at this. Look at this.
It's a cover. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my God! It has like the like the baby dolls on it. Yeah. That's so creepy. I love it.
That's great.
Wow. Yesterday, Dr. Robert. Oh my God. Wow. This is insane. Very cool. More albums for your Beatles collections. So sick. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Wow. Oh my God. And it's on a colored vinyl. That's what I'm talking about. Limited edition. Oh man, thank you. Look at that. Now it's the 6 of us in there. Well, the 7, 8 of us, you know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. You got them, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
But that's not all. We do have some more.
Okay.
Because I have been trying to interview you for years, and now it's finally happening.
Oh, I'm happy. Very cool. Very cool.
So now I have some more. So I know John Legend.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I remember Get Lifted was one of the first CDs I ever bought. Wow, this one has Save Room on it, right? Yeah, the first one. Wow. Very cool. Oh my God, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Wow, Maxine's Interlude. I haven't listened to that in so long. Crazy. Wow, this is so sick. Damn, he really did put the piano in the middle of the street for
It's
this.
pretty sick.
So that's a heavy
hard
lift.
album cover.
That's a hard album cover. Good for him. Wow, truly the legend.
All right.
Wow,
but that's not all though.
Oh my goodness.
We have one that people maybe didn't know that you're a fan of.
Oh wow, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I don't know if you know my idol's story, but
no, tell me.
My idol's story is I was in a session with this guy who I had just become friends with on Instagram, and we were like, let's meet in real life, and he doesn't really do like the same sort of music as I do, but we just like sort of hit it off on guitar stuff, and like we both like love each other's love our dads, and this sort of thing. And he found a video of me playing guitar with my dad on YouTube, and so we do the session, whatever. And then at the end of it, he's like, are you listening to any like new music? Like what are you listening to? And I was like, oh, like I just found out about this band called Idols and I love them. I've been obsessed the last month. And I was like, do you know them? He's like, no, I have no idea. And I was like, oh, well, they have this great Tiny Desk show, concert. Good. So yeah. I put it on and he turns around and he goes, dude, I think you just changed my life. And that guy is Kenny Beats. And he went on to produce the 2 of the albums.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What?
So I was like, that's
insane.
So like the next day he hit me up and was like, dude, like I got on the phone with them. Like I think they're going to come to LA, and all this stuff. And then they DM me and they're like, dude, thanks for like the shout out, whatever. And I was like, guys, I'm just happy to be. And then they got the album that he fully produced got like nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah.
So I felt like I felt like it was like my A&R moment, So, but I love all those guys so much, and this is one of my honestly one of my favorite albums. Yeah. So, just insane.
That is insane. Wow.
Yeah, the first song that I showed him was "Never Fight a Man with a Perm."
Oh yeah,
the second one on this. So, oh man, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So kind.
You're welcome.
So kind.
All right, let's end the interview with some few questions. Now that we're friends, I do have some questions that maybe only real friends.
Okay, let's go for it.
And were you ever big into camping when you were younger?
I kind of. I like my parents would have. I thought we were going to like a really lavish place, but we had this like pop-up trailer that I think my dad got for free. And we used to go to this place called Otter Lake for like weeks on end. And I thought, I was like, wow, this is like so ritzy. And then I later found out that it was $10 a month to rent a camping site there. So you could just sort of go, and then you didn't have to spend a lot of money, So I was like, okay, that was like the first time I was like, oh, maybe, I'm not as rich as my other friends, but I loved camping. It was so much fun. So,
do you ever fish for bears there?
Oh my goodness. No, I haven't. But that was one of that, the band name has sort of followed me. It's when it gets it's like a deep cut name, but somehow even on YouTube, I couldn't change like the YouTube, username. They don't let you do it. So still my YouTube channel, like if you do youtube.com/fishforbears, it's still just my channel. So it's like a deep cut for everything, but actually the first show we ever played, was this Battle of Bands, in New Jersey. And we definitely lost the Battle of Bands, which was totally fine because I didn't think we were that good anyway, but it was super fun. And the band who won, who like we played with, was this band called the Front Bottoms. And that was their second show ever. Like I remember talking to them, like, yeah, we just started, and it was like really cool. And like now they're obviously, they have their own festival, they're doing their own thing. So it's really cool to sort of like, I love being at the start of things, Of course, it's cool to be at like, the Grammys dinner or whatever, but it's like I like being there when like the synthesis of an idea happens, and everything. And I think that's probably why I even like putting out like those songs and demos like that, because that's where like that's where you're the least judgmental and you're thinking about the audience. You're just sort of doing what you feel like is right. So, yeah.
Well, I have one last question for you before we end the interview. And, you're performing at countless venues and you still have some more to go. But I'm wondering, do you ever think you'll ever perform at the Fox and Crow again?
Wow. I mean, the Fox and Crow, we have a long history. I would love to maybe go back one day and play, because that room just means the world to me. And like the people there, I don't know if it's all the same people who work there though. They do, whenever it's like the bars and restaurants, it's like as much as you love the places, it's really the people who like make it who it is, and whatnot. And I would love to go back, maybe do a reunion, sort of show, or just show up one day, but we'll see how it goes. But that is also very deep cut stuff, I love it. This is very friend based questions, Some actually, I've met some of my best friends, so I still am best friends with today from playing Fox and Crow. I used to have a really good group of people every Sunday come, and they used to call themselves Sunday family dinner. So they would come and just eventually it would just be, just so nice. So very lucky to have these, little pockets of history in my life, to sort of bring me where I am
to learn,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking time to do the interview. But before we turn off the camera, though, this interview is all for you.
Yeah.
So before we turn it off, you could plug anything you want, your social media, rest of your tour dates.
Yeah. So on tour till March 17th. We're hitting the West Coast. We got LA, we got San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, and Vancouver. So and there should be new music on the way. But for now, just listen to my debut album, Here Goes Nothing.